We're going to talk about medical abuse, neglect, and malpractice. This right here is what happens to people when they end up in psych wards ordered by the State Attorney General, T.J. Donovan, out of Vermont, and his co-inspired people, his followers, his disciples, his employees, being Vermont State Police, Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, Department of Children and Family Services, Human Services, and all of them that he's inclined to oversee, and they are directed to follow in pursuit. With that being said, my daughter was purposely silenced through medications when she was wrongfully taken and held and had to do things like this at the age that she is, violated. She was so fucked up on medications that she had to keep on writing her information so that she could keep intact with her memory, because they had her locked up in Rutland Regional Medical Center, shooting her up with medications over the summer of 2021. It started in June. It actually started way back in probably September of 2006, but it's carried out till this given date of April 2022. In fact, what happened was when I moved back and Brianna got stronger, she was not on any kind of psychotropical medications for depression or any bullshit like that. She was taking her regular medications for her Crohn's, diagnosed. Okay, whatever. That's another story. However, when we had a meeting January 8th of 2021 with Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, they decided that we were intimidating. I still have that recording. I still have that audio video. I also still have all the proof that starting around that date, they started retaliating from Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, Department of Children and Family Services, the Bickfords, the Morris, the Yates, Attorney General, all of them. Okay? So it ended up being that Brianna was arrested and taken into custody, and then that was after they came at my daughter and took my grandson away from my daughter after she had been abused, and my grandson had too. And it's all on audio record and acknowledged by everybody in the town of Island Pond. So why didn't anybody come to the rescue of my daughter when she was being abused? Is it because they're all scared of the repercussions? Well, I'm not, because I'm still going through them. My car's been vandalized, my house has been shot at, my home was burned down, I was locked out, I've lost my shit time and time again. Fact is, they can only burn the house once. I can move on time and time again. I can tell my story over and over again, because somebody's gonna finally can pick up and listen. Okay? Vandalized my car. Obviously, somebody did something to a car that Brianna got from Craig Gillette a couple years ago as well. Same thing kind of happened. The bolt from the A-frame fell out. How did that happen? Didn't just fall out. Somebody tampered with it, didn't they? Same person, perhaps? I'd like to know. But Brianna went ass over end into a field. She walked out with a cut on her arm. Okay? She got a tattoo over that to cover that scar. Tell me that's a lie. Island Pond, Craig Gillette's garage. He needs to be investigated. So do the people in the surroundings. Okay? Because not only did my daughter's car end up like that, but my car did too. Notably mentioned and recognized by the AAA driver that picked my car up and towed it home. Also by some good old boys that grew up just across the river, because they're the ones that fixed it for me in Barnet. Okay? So I have all the proof and information, and God be willing, I've got the witnesses too. So Brianna was away for 60 days, and in that time, I did have contact with her. July 17th, I had contact. It's on audio record. It was also reported to Rutland Regional Medical Center. My daughter was being physically and sexually abused in that hospital. It was reported. She also admits that she didn't take anything. She wasn't on medications. They were forcing medications. So what were they making her take? Notably, a drug called ketamine, okay? So noting that Brianna was 60 days shot up with a drug, Rutland Regional Medical Center, she was totally disoriented when she got out. The call is still on audio record. I already shared it to YouTube. You can hear the Vermont State Trooper took the phone and Brianna away from the phone. When I had already called Vermont State Police and told them that Brianna was being held hostage because Chris from Northeast Kingdom Mental Services had her locked in. She had already been released, so why did he have her locked into a Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services building in Derby, Vermont, and wouldn't give her her car keys, told her they didn't know where they were, so she couldn't get her car. I called AAA. Vermont State Police canceled her AAA call and made her car stay there. It wasn't until 2 days later, and after being found all confused and disoriented downstairs in a laundromat that was closed, she was found by a woman named Jennifer Watson, I believe, in Island Pond. Jennifer kept Brianna with her overnight, and then the United States Postal Service, Janine, downstairs beside the post office, beside the laundromat, is the post office, and that's where Janine works. Janine contacted me and told me, I need to get your daughter to you. She brought my daughter to me. And then my aunt's ex-husband, I always knew him as my uncle, Gordon Obert, did something to my daughter. He claims that she ran across the street in the middle of the night to the neighbor's house and almost got shot. Why she ran across the street in the middle of the night, Gordon? What'd you give to my daughter, Deanna? I've asked you this many times over, and I'm going to keep on asking until you come through. Because Brianna shouldn't have to. You people are the perpetrators. She's the survivor. She was a victim, now she's a survivor, and she's still surviving the bullshit. Because you see, Brianna's no longer missing, but Brianna's very unhealthy. I showed you pictures in video. Brianna, last week, was in the hospital again. She's been put back on the methadone clinic program. For what purpose? She wasn't needing any of that shit. Back in January 2021, she wasn't on anything. It wasn't until after she asked why she had been misdiagnosed with everything, and we have the medical records to prove that she's been misdiagnosed. It's time that all of these psych wards get shut the fuck down. That's not just my opinion, but it's a strong matter. Because why? All they're doing is medicating. And when they have to write their information time and time again to try to remember who they are, to stay in contact with their brain, to make sure that they know that they've got validation in life, because they're being medically distraught, over-medicated, and silenced. Why? I'll tell you why. It's because they don't like the fact that I still hold all the information in regards to what led up to this, being the fact that Jeff Hare, Island Pond, Vermont, now in Plymouth, Massachusetts, friends with Jeffrey Noyes, Teddy Miller, and the whole fucking shebang, okay, his wife lured my daughter from a homeroom, being an honor roll student, to an IEP program without my acknowledgement. And it was through the hands of Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services worker Linda Cope. Does anybody remember Linda Cope? back in 2006, 2007, she worked with your kids at Brighton Elementary School. Yeah, her. What about Judy Castonguay? You remember her? Yeah, her. And she's a pastor too, Judy Castonguay, there in Island Pond. So you tell me about the devil and their disciples. You tell me why Border Patrol agent, supervisor, and school employees lured and abused my daughter. Tell me why they took my children from me under false pretenses. Tell me why Vermont State Police Amy Basari, now LeClaire, wrote in her statement that she couldn't contact me. She never did try. Tell me how she couldn't contact me, but just a couple days later they came right to me. And then a couple days later, Mary Hare came right to me to say goodbye to me and the children, just obviously to verify that they had come and taken Brianna from me and the other two as well. Okay? So knowing that this was all premeditated, organized, conspired, without a doubt, all reason to believe. Why do you think it is that my home got burned down? Why do you think it is that my daughter continues to go missing? Why do you think it is that my grandson was taken into DCF custody? Why do you think it is that I was locked out of my home and they put a no contact order between me and my daughter and they won't release it? Because why? Because it's a silencer. They don't want myself and my daughter talking in the state of Vermont. They don't want me in the state of Vermont. They don't want me talking to my daughter, and they don't want my daughter talking to me. Because why? Because Mama has the proof. And Brianna is the living witness. She wasn't expected to survive time and time again. That's why she put in code. She has to have medical socks. And they were over-medicating and trying to kill her. And as of this date, April 2022, my daughter's been having seizures that she shouldn't be having. My daughter's being treated with methadone for what? They're not treating her for pain, but they're giving her methadone. For what purpose? My daughter wasn't on any of this bullshit until they conspired against us when she was totally clean enough from all of their supervision, being probation and medical, psych fucking medication provision and all that shit, okay? That's all ordered by your government officials. It's time for change. It's time to shut these pill mills down. It's time to support the ones that support us. And it's not the government. All they're doing is destroying us. We have roots. It's very important that people know their family roots. And when you allow DCF to destroy your family, hold up. Let me backtrack that. I know you didn't purposely allow them to, but if you have heard me tell you that you can't fight a state level case in state level, you got to take it to federal, and you haven't made it to the federal court yet to file paperwork against the state that took your children and destroyed your family, then I hold you accountable. Other than that, if you've just learned that from my mouth and you want more information, follow me here on House for Justice. Email me, houseforjustice@gmail.com. I'm willing to talk to you. I'm not going to listen to any bullshit, but if you get a question, I'll answer to you. I'm not going to listen to your stories. I don't want to hear them. I don't have time for them. It's not because I'm not interested. It's because I only need the facts so that I can help you move forward. Okay? You can tell your own story. You can contact me. I'll record it and I'll air it. Other than that, contact me with facts and I'll help you get through it. With that being said, don't let this happen to your children. Okay? Somebody told me that I remind them of Miss Bullock, the actress that followed her daughter. Well, let me tell you something. I've taken my daughter off the streets many times. Not by her choice and not by mine. My daughter's gone missing. My daughter's been put in sex trafficking and drug trafficking rings at the hands of police, government, and state officials. These cases have been hidden by police, government, and state officials. Call Graham Gate at Orlando Police and call Orange County Sheriff's Department and ask them about the cases and why they have asked for Brianna to agree to dismissing the cases down in Orlando and Volusia County. Brianna said she didn't want the cases dismissed, and I note that and I make it publicly known. She did not want or request the cases to be dismissed. She was contacted and they told her. And I know that, and I can tell you my own. I have been through that too. When I got abused by a guy that's related to and does work for the police, I was abused at Markham Park in Florida. We were at a bike fest, and it was December 4th, and Larry Johnson, he abused me, and it was reported. We were pulled over roadside. He was pulled out and put on the ground, handcuffed, taken to jail, charged for domestic violence, and it was heightened to a felon because he has Hep C and he spit on the cop or something. I don't know. That's what they said anyways. And then I was victimized again because I was taken out by gunpoint and had to walk backwards to the police holding a gun at my head and having my shirt lifted up over my boobs. So knowing that was on the side of the highway in Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach area, actually, okay? I've been violated many times by police after surviving bullshit. And then I was contacted by the investigating officer and told that I should just drop the case and that he wasn't going any further with it. That's after he found out who the perpetrator was. Okay? So if that tells you anything, I had a sign on my house that says I don't call 911, okay? But do not trespass. And I don't call 911. I go right to the federal court because I have rights. I have human rights. I have civil rights. I have constitutional rights. I have plenty of rights. Fundamental rights, the rights to my own belongings, the right to my own space, the right to privacy, and that's all been invaded time and time again, as well as my daughter was invaded, as well as my daughter was abused, and we're still being invaded, abused, and discriminated against. So with that being said, if any of you have taken in anything that I've said, speak up, contact me, House for Justice. I've got plenty more that I'm going to be sharing. That's just a little bit on mental health services, and the fact is that I've shared plenty on here. Look up my YouTube videos on here, Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services. You're going to see it all. I don't hide anything. I don't filter anything. If I wake up in the middle of the night and start talking and don't comb my hair, well, don't discriminate against me. Just be thankful that I'm doing something. I'm doing something to help all of you. It's not about me. I've already been through it. I'm seeking justice so that none of you have to continue going through it. With that being said, have a great day.